Hello and welcome. My name is James Kennedy, Schools and Colleges Outreach Officer here at Leeds Beckett University. In this session is helping you understand and apply for student finance. It's important to know all figures and information are based on a UK student starting a full-time course in the 2021 academic year. If you're from Northern Ireland, Scotland or Wales, your funding may differ, so you should contact your relevant funding provider. Through this video, I'm going to cover the following points and help you understand the financial assistance available to you, which will cover tuition fees, maintenance loans, budgeting tips, and finally, the loan repayment. While some of these figures I'm about to show you can seem daunting at first, keep this in mind. As long as you are a UK resident and this is your first degree, you don't need any money up front for the costs. You'll have money made available to help you live, and you only repay these costs when you can afford to do so. Your tuition fee payment means you are eligible to study on your chosen course, and these costs often make up the majority of the income for the universities. This will go towards paying for academic staff, support staff, security, buildings, research, everything the university needs to operate. This fee is part of a package of student funding that you'll need to reapply for each year of the course. Every penny of this will be covered by the government and be paid directly to the university once you join. This will not be sent to your bank account. Let's face it, for some of us, myself included, that could be asking for trouble. If at any point you change your mind and don't wish to attend university or wish to take a gap year, don't worry. No money is moved or transferred until you have registered at a university. The second of the two loans that we made available to you is the maintenance loan. This loan, as the name tells us, is there to help maintain you throughout your studies. Some students may use this for travel, accommodation, bills, or course costs, and for their entertainment budget. There are two main factors that will influence how much you will receive. The first being your household income. For the household income, you'll need to complete an online assessment form as part of this process. This normally looks into the income of the parents or the guardians and will influence the loan amount. Typically, the lower the household income, the higher the loan available to the student to cover essential costs. If the household earns more, then it's anticipated by the government that the parents or guardians will be able to contribute to help cover those costs. In my experience, just because your parents earn more doesn't mean they necessarily mean they can afford to help cover your costs. Whilst this is a grey area, thousands of students are comfortably able to cover the costs using whatever loan is available and their part-time work. As with the tuition fee loan, you'll need to reapply for this each year. This can change depending on the household assessment. The calculations are very precise, and sometimes the system requires evidence to be submitted before they can approve your loan. This means some people will need to send off physical evidence to evidence their income and their circumstances. It's really important to ensure you have everything completed in time. If you're late with the final documents, they can't guarantee your payments will be in place for the start of term. Thankfully, we have plenty of time to complete this. The applications normally open in the February before you start your course, and you have until May. It doesn't cost anything to set up. If you need to, you can cancel this at any time, and there's a helpline which you can contact for further assistance. You will complete this while still narrowing down your university choices. The finance form will recognise you have multiple choices, and you can always confirm this at a later date. Remember, no money moves until you have registered at your university of choice. The second factor that influences how much maintenance loan you may receive is where you move to. There are three brackets that you can fall into for this. If you stay at home, it's anticipated that these costs are going to be lower, although you may need to contribute towards the household. You need to have that conversation with your parents or guardians. For those of you moving away from home, it's expected you'll have a few additional overheads, including rent and bills, so the amount of loan made available reflects this. Finally, should you choose to move to London, the amount of loan available again reflects the increasing costs that you're likely to see. So once you've looked at your household income and matched this against where you're likely to be moving to, you can see how much you're available to receive in this loan. Here we can see the breakdown between household income and your chosen living arrangements. The amount you receive will be based on a sliding scale and will be assessed to the pound based on your circumstances. I've used the bracket amounts here as an example, as it's the easiest way to fit it onto one page. Remember, the household income is the assessment on the main earners within your household. This will likely be your parents or guardians and will not include part-time jobs for you or siblings. For those of you that sat here still wondering how much your household income is, you may need to confer with your parents or guardians at this point. Also, if you'd like a full breakdown of what you may be eligible to receive, you can find this on the government website at gov.uk/student finance or Google Student Finance Calculator to get a more precise breakdown. The amount you receive will be based in 3 instalments. One in September when you start the course, one in January to start the new term, and the final payment comes in just after Easter. Most accommodation choices for university will acknowledge these timeframes and will ask for payments in line with these. If you're looking at these figures and you're still unsure if you can cover your costs, there's still more we can do to help. Bursaries and scholarships are funds made available for a number of reasons. All are designed to help students who fit a particular set of circumstances, and there's hundreds of bursaries and scholarships available. Some are available via the government, which means you'll be entitled to these regardless of where you study. Those who may be eligible for the DSA or the Disabled Students Allowance can receive additional financial support to help with their disability, ongoing health conditions, mental health conditions, or specific learning difficulties, such as dyslexia. As there are so many factors that can influence this, it's best to get in touch with a member of the team to discuss any further questions. Other bursaries and scholarships are awarded by the universities. This can help reward students. Sometimes these can be linked to academic achievements, assistance for travel as part of placements, helping those with children or dependents, or those that are coming from low-income households, or even those that have been from a care background, and can even be based on your performance at a first year of the university. There's a wide-ranging variety and they can change from year to year. It might seem cheeky asking your university of choice for some free money when you first get there, but you'd be surprised how much goes unclaimed by students who are unaware that they are entitled to this. It's always best to check each university to see what their offer is. For those students applying through UCAS for your university options, they will alert you when the application is open for your student finance. As I mentioned, this is usually in the February before you start your course, and you'll need to register on the government website shown here. You'll complete the first section, which links this through your UCAS ID. You'll then get your parents or guardians to complete the household assessment component of the form. Don't just spring this on them. Fill this out as early as you can in the year, in case you do need to submit evidence, and make sure to check everything's been completed correctly. Again, if you have any questions, you can always contact the Finance Helpline or get in touch with the Student Money team here at Leeds Beckett. So, once you've completed the form and made sure it's all been accepted, and you know how much you'll be in receipt of, we can turn our focus to your level 3 assessments and narrowing down those university options. You don't need to hold any offers or even have made your final decision on where to study to begin this process. We would advise you begin this as soon as possible. Your final university options can always be confirmed and amended later down the line. You will not be expected to make any repayments on the repayment threshold. You only pay back 9% of what you earn over this amount. If you were to earn £30,000 a year, you can see how much salary we have remaining once we've allowed for the threshold. As you can see, your actual monthly repayment would be around the same, if not cheaper, than a mobile phone contract. It's likely your final amount after your degree will be between £40,000 to £50,000. Remember when I said some of these figures can be scary? But it is important to remember, what you repay is not related to how much you borrowed, but instead to how much you earn in the future. Once you graduate, both amounts will be put into one loan amount, and you need to earn over a certain amount before any payments against the loan are made. These payments are made directly by your employer and do not require you to set up any payments, unless you're self-employed. All you need to do is inform your employer when you start with them, and they arrange payments from your salary as they would for tax or national insurance contributions. This system is designed to ensure that it is always affordable. You're only expected to make repayments when you can afford to do so. This finance system is set up to ensure anyone who wants to can cover the costs of their degree and only make payments when they can afford to do so. As you can see, you don't start to make any repayments until you're earning above the repayment threshold. As you begin to earn more, the payments increase. This system is designed to ensure you only pay back when you can afford to do so. So should your wage ever drop below the threshold, payments stop. If you earn a high wage as a graduate, you will see your monthly payments increase. Whilst these figures may look scary, against the amount of salary that you're earning, they are very much affordable. Loans are repaid over 30 years, with any remaining balance wiped off at the end of the period, regardless of how much you still owe. Approximately 80% of graduates will not repay the loan in full. In effect, for most students, you can see the loan repayments as a tax for 30 years. If you don't earn more as a graduate, it's unfair to ask you to repay the amount. If you earn a reasonable wage, you'll find yourself paying back some of the amount. And if you're a high earner, you're likely to pay the full sum. The student loan isn't like any loan you'll see made available by banks or credit companies. Your student loan isn't included on your credit score, and mortgage advisors are likely to look at your net income rather than any student loan you have outstanding. This being said, there is interest on the loans. The details are listed on the screen. However, keep in mind how this will affect you in real terms. For most people earning a good wage, they are more likely to be making payments against the loan amount for the 30 years, let alone the interest added to it. The interest will again affect the high earners, those who have highly paid jobs. Depending on the research and survey you check, these figures do range quite a bit, but the average student is likely to see themselves earning £10,000 more per year. There is plenty of information available about the financial benefits for graduates of a university education, but it is important to remember that going to university is about more than just money. It is important that you are making your choices for the right reason. In conclusion, those students who are UK residents and have not previously undertaken a degree can receive support to cover their tuition fees and a maintenance loan to help cover costs of living. You may also be in receipt of bursaries or scholarships issued by the government or the institution you choose to study with. This support will be made available to you, meaning anyone can afford to access higher education. This will be available throughout your course, and any repayments on the total balance are only made when you can afford to do so. For further information on Leeds Beckett University, you can visit leedsbeckett.ac.uk. You can visit us on one of our open days listed here, or you can scan the QR code to subscribe to our mailing list to stay up to date. Further information on student finance can be found on our website under Money Advice. Alternatively, you can contact the Student Finance England team via Twitter, Facebook, or telephone 0300 100 0607. All the best.